Hey everybody, Steve Hall here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with Pretty Miss Sheila. We're getting ready to show you one of our recipes in just a second. And it's a recipe that's really near and dear to my heart. It's my secret barbecue sauce that I've been making for about 20 years, and I'm going to share it with you. But I want to make sure everything is just right, and there's about 3 corrections in this recipe coming up that I want to make sure that you know about. First of all, I talk about using Rotel's diced tomatoes and chilies. I talk about using original. Now they make 3. They make a mild, original, hot. Use the mild the first batch you make. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always put heat in, but you can't take heat out once it's made. And it's a little on the spicy side, I think, for the general public. Perfect for me, but if you're going to feed it to family and friends and even kids, you want to use the mild. And another thing, make sure you drain all the juice out of this. I didn't talk about that in the recipe before you dump it in the blender. One other thing, you don't have to buy Rotel's. This is Food Lion diced tomatoes and green chilies. Works just as good for the recipe. One other thing, if you go to the store and you buy Kraft barbecue sauce, and I'm just going to tell you how it is, that stuff sucks. It's terrible. All it is nothing but Caro syrup or something with smoke, liquid smoke in it. It's just nasty. Food colorings and all kinds of stuff. But if you look on the shelf, you'll see a few barbecue sauces that are mom and pop. They somehow got in a small food chain. They let them put them in their stores. It's like Jim's Barbecue or something. And you pick it up and you look at the back, and one of the ingredients is anchovies. And those old dogs, they figured out the same thing I do. Anchovies make your barbecue sauce fantastic. In the recipe that you're getting ready to watch, because we've already recorded it, I tell you to put 4 strips of anchovies in there. Only use 3. And it's important because I really like that, but again, I want the flavor to be right for you. So just use 3 strips of anchovies. They come in a little can like that. You can find them in the tuna fish section, that kind of stuff, but just use 3. And last, and most importantly, I have been making the barbecue sauce for years and sharing it with friends. Little jars of it I give to people. And they say, I love that, but I don't care for them little teeny pieces of onion in there. They kind of bother me. Because people are used to a squeeze bottle barbecue sauce that's smooth, that doesn't have nothing in it. I, on the other hand, I put about 1/3 to 1/2 cup, and I don't even talk about it in the recipe, of diced onions. Real fine diced onions. I chop them up so fine, each piece ain't no bigger than a BB. Real fine, 1/3 to 1/2 cup, and I put that in mine and stir it in. If you're going to do it for your own recipe, at least try 1 batch like that. But those are the corrections I wanted to make sure that you knew about because they're really important to me. Try it my way the first time because you can always make it sweet, unsweet, hot, unhot from there on out. But let's get to the recipe with those corrections written down. It's going to turn out great. Here we go. Hey everybody, hunter, fisher, trapper, trader, guide, scout, and interpreter, and country cook, Steve Hall here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with Pretty Miss Sheila. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
I got a piece of paper laying next to me that I printed out of my computer because it is my secret barbecue sauce, which is now going to become unsecret because I'm going to tell you what I make. Now, there's 1,000 barbecue sauces out there. Some like it hot, some like it sweet, some like vinegar-based, tomato-based. It goes on forever. But I'm going to tell you what I do. And today I'm going to use a thing. I'm going to lean over here a second. Precision Induction Cooktop. I haven't used this thing in a long time. And I'll have you come up a little closer in a minute and explain why I'm using this. But let's start out with our base. First thing I want to do is I want to use 2 cups of Hunt's ketchup. I love Hunt's ketchup. No preservative, Hunt's tomato ketchup. I don't like Heinz brand, so I'm going to use Hunt's. Here is 2 cups of that to start with. Now, over in this little blender here, I'm going to take a can of Rotel's. Now this is Rotel's diced tomatoes and chilies, and this is the original brand. Now they make a mild and they make a hot. Original is kind of spicy, but if you like a nice spicy barbecue sauce, remember it's going to kind of go thin on your product anyway. I use the regular. You can use mild if you want to tone it down. And I'm going to put this in here, and the reason I need this liquid is because I'm going to put an ingredient in here in just a second. Let me get this started. And the reason I did that is because I want to put these little guys in here. These are anchovies. This is kind of one of the deep, dark secrets to my barbecue sauce. Get your little can of anchovies at the grocery store. They're over by the tuna section. And I use about 4 little anchovy strips. These are little salty minnow kind of things. That's why there's no salt in this recipe except for these guys, because they're really salty, but they give such a deep flavor. Don't tell anybody it's in there, because a lot of people don't want to eat these little minnows in their anything. So don't even tell them it's in there. But I'm going to put 4 in. Sometimes I use 5, sometimes I use 6, because the flavor is just absolutely incredible. But to blend them up, now you can use anchovy paste as well, but to blend them up, I needed that little juice in there, so. And I want to get these really, really smooth. All right, that's good enough. Now we're ready. See, you don't even know they're in there. Don't tell anybody that you have anchovies in your barbecue sauce. And now I want you to come up closer, because not only am I going to tell you what's in this secret ingredient right here, but I'm also going to show why I'm using the precision induction cooktop. I can never remember it, so I'm going to read it a couple times during the recipe. Come on over here and check this out. All right, we got our base for our barbecue sauce in here going. I think I seen a little anchovy swim by. Sheila hates that, but let me tell you, this is a precision induction cooktop. Now, if you take this off, it won't even start, because you have to have a certain type of pan. Now, a lot of you know what this is, but if you've never seen one, it's made by Nuwave 2 precision induction cooktop thing, is you have to have a certain kind of pot or pan to put on top. In other words, if I put a cast iron pan here out of the kitchen, it won't do anything. The bottom of this pan has got a whole bunch of different little insignias. In other words, you can use it on the stove, you can use it on that, and then it also says induction, and it has this little logo. You'll have to look for a pot that has these little teeny curlicues in the logo on the bottom of the pan. That means this electronic part will heat this without heating anything else. So let's go medium. See, it's already 275 degrees, and here's why I love this. Because when you want to simmer barbecue sauce for a long time to get that nice deep flavor, this is perfect, because you can walk away and set it exactly where you want it. I don't know where the edit happened, because these little buttons goofed me up, but let me get started again here. Medium low, 175. I'm going to bump this up to about 200 degrees. I don't want it to boil, but I want it to get hot. Then I'm going to hit start. You can hear it running. And here's the coolest part. Underneath here is getting hot. In fact, if I lift this off, see, it stops, because it has to have this pot on here to cook. So let me go back to pause and clear. Medium, say medium or low medium, 175. I'm going to go back to 200 degrees, hit start again. Not only, if you lift this off, not only is it getting real hot down underneath this pan immediately, but if you lift the pot off, you've seen that it quits, but you can also lay your hand anywhere on the burner, except underneath here. Obviously, when it gets real hot and you take it off, then it's still warm. But you can be cooking and boiling stuff in here and lay an ice cube on the side. Isn't that the weirdest thing you've ever seen? Because my hands are not made of that particular type of metal, obviously, even though some people think I'm the Terminator. But anyway, that's the reason I'm using this precision induction cooktop, is because I don't want any of this to boil. I want it to simmer for a long time. So when I get my other ingredients in here, I can simmer this at 200 degrees or 210 or right at 212 or exactly where I want it for as long as I want, and walk away and come back, and it won't be burnt. It's great for chocolates and a whole bunch of stuff. Kind of look it up online and check it out and find out more information about one. All right, this is already starting to simmer just a little bit over here. So I'm going to turn this down to 180. Isn't that nice? Temperature's right there. You just punch in exactly what you want, because I don't want this to get ahead of me until we're done telling you what's in this cup right here. Oh, it's so wonderful. Believe it or not, I sip on this stuff while the camera's off. It's so wonderful. What is in here? Now, I'm going to put all the ingredients in the description box below, so you don't have to worry about any of this. And I know you don't want to sit here and watch me put in a dash of this and a pinch of that in barbecue sauce. You just want to know what's in it so you can make it. So let me tell you what's in here. It's a half a cup of molasses, a half a cup of brown sugar, a quarter cup of orange juice, and I'm reading it right off my little chicken scratches here, a quarter cup of honey, a quarter cup of apple cider vinegar, and also a quarter cup of apple juice, 1 teaspoon of dry mustard, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Now, don't use the salts, because remember, we got the anchovies in there. We got plenty of salt, but that's in there. And 2 teaspoons of black pepper, you know, fresh ground or whatever you got, And as soon as we turn the camera off, I'm putting in another teaspoon for me because I like it with a lot of pepper in there. And a 1/4 cup of grape jelly, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. That's the way I say it right there. And then here's kind of a fine line of what you're going to have to figure out. I've actually got in here a 1/4 of a teaspoon of liquid smoke. Now I use good quality stuff. This is Natural Mesquite Liquid Smoke. The actual brand Liquid Smoke was established in 1869. They started making this stuff. Don't cheat on this. Get Liquid Smoke. Make sure you buy the right brand. And I just put in a 1/4 teaspoon. And then if I want it to, it has a little more, you know, mesquite taste or a little more woods taste for my barbecue, I'll add a few drops as I go along. But that's what is in this cup. Now we're just going to slide this over here. See if I can get my little cord to let me go. Tell me when we're center there, Sheila. A little this way or that way?
You're great.
Am I great right there? Does that look good? Right there. Now it's time to turn it back up a couple clicks because we're going to add some room temperature stuff in here. Oh, and here's all of that stuff I just told you going in there. It is so wonderful. I know it seems like a lot of ingredients, but if you want something that tastes deep, rich, and not just like ketchup-y stuff with a whole bunch of liquid smoke in it, this is really what you want to go with. All right. And we're going to stir this until it's all blended in. Then I'm going to leave the lid off of this, and I'm going to let it simmer for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours until it just gets real super thick. But I'm going to go ahead and time it, and then when I come back and turn the camera back on, I'll tell you how long it's been on, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Still trying to incorporate all that stuff. See how it's getting a real nice dark color to it? Oh, that stuff is so good. Let me give it a little taste test here. Lord, it's just absolutely wonderful. It's not a plain Jane barbecue sauce. It's the real deal. You can cut up a jalapeno pepper in half, throw that in there and let it simmer, then take it back out when it's done. You can add some of your own favorite hot sauce, give it a shot of Tabasco. You can put in a little more cayenne pepper. But I love it just the way it is. I've been writing that down in my computer for, I guess, about 10 years now, and tweaking on the kitchen stove. And I thought, well, I might as well just go ahead and show everybody what the barbecue sauce is. That is absolutely fabulous. Again, we're going to leave the lid off because we want some of the moisture to leave, and we're going to let this cook. I'm going to keep an eye on that 200 degrees, and if it starts bubbling a little too much, I'll move it to 190. If it's still bubbling too much, I'll move it to 180, or leave it where it is. We'll find out what happens, and we'll be back in about an hour to 2 hours and let you know. Maybe we'll just do a 1 hour check-in and let you know what's going on. We'll see you in an hour. All right, this has only been on here for about 30 minutes. I've only stirred it like once or twice because I wanted to make sure that when I rake the spoon back and forth across the bottom that it didn't pile anything up on here. How many times have you made a sauce and when you stir the bottom of it, you can see it's already burnt or it's already starting to build a layer? This induction cooktop is so slick it doesn't do anything. But look at the steam coming out of there. So it's right under the point of boiling. I got to do one other thing. Sheila brought me a couple chicken quarters, and I'm not going to get the spoon on the chicken because I don't want to reintroduce it into the sauce here. So I'll just kind of dribble it on top, and then because this is already done. Now this has been in the Nuwave oven for 15 minutes on one side, 15 minutes on the other side, and it's perfect done from raw. And if you use it frozen, 25 minutes each side, it's also perfect. So we'll take this and put this back in the Nuwave in just a second. But here's one other thing I was going to tell you. A lot of guys do this. Now, some of you guys got some smokers at home and you just love to play with your smoker. So after you get done whipping up this recipe, leave out the liquid smoke. Even though this is a great brand, leave out the liquid smoke and pour this barbecue sauce into a pan, like a little 9 by 13 pan or whatever, and put it in your smoker and actually smoke it. You can actually do this cook down method in there, and in a smoker you can run it to about 225 degrees because there's no burner underneath, so you don't have to worry about burning anything. But I would still keep it around 200 or 210 or something. But smoke it in there, and that smoke in your smoker gets into this sauce, and it's actually truly smoked barbecue sauce. Well, with all that said, as soon as this cooks down, I'm going to put it in this quart jar. Whatever's left over, I'm going to put in a little squeeze bottle, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and I'm going to leave it in there for about a week, and it just gets better and better and better. With all that vinegar that's in it, it just lasts almost forever. It never does because we use it up, but man, this stuff tastes so fantastic. It's my sauce, so I can go ahead and sample it here. Wow. It's absolutely delicious. And after you taste it, it is a sweet barbecue sauce. Not super sweet, but just a real nice, sweet, warm taste. After you sample it, then the little bit of heat comes on. So if you want to back the heat down, I don't think you should, because once you smear it on ribs or chicken or drizzle it on pulled pork or pulled chicken, you're not even going to notice a difference. But if you want to, you can go to a mild can of Rotels that you blend instead of regular. And if you want to kick it up, go with hot. But let's cook this another 30 minutes. So it's been cooking about an hour, and we'll be right back. All right, this has been going for about an hour and 15 minutes now, and it's just got a real nice deep color to it. We've cooked off a lot of the moisture, so it's actually got a little thicker, and it'll even get thicker when it cools. And you notice again, there's still nothing on the bottom. Let me scrape it real good for you. There is nothing on that spoon, which means that this little induction cooktop does not burn your sauce. You got to get one because you can walk away and leave it. But yet, on the edges of the pan where I was stirring, look what it's going to do on top of your ribs. Oh man, when it gets on there and simmers away, that cooks some of the moisture out up there. It's going to be just absolutely delicious. Well, our sauce is done, so let me hit clear. It's turned off. About an hour and a half. I would actually simmer it about 2 hours, but I'm kind of hurrying this up for the video, and I've got my little trusty little pot that I do a lot of pouring with over here. As soon as this cools down, I'm going to put it in here. Then I'm going to transfer it to my little quart jar, and whatever's left is going to go in a little squeeze bottle and get drizzled. Now there's a million changes you can do to this. You can make it sweeter, less sweet, hotter, less hot. But try this recipe one time the way it is. Maybe go with the mild Rotels, because you can always add a little cayenne pepper later on or hot sauce later on just to make sure it gets the flavor that you want. But I've been making this stuff for many, many years, so it's absolutely fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the recipe. There's our little subscribe button right there. Click on that. I just gave you my secret shotgun red barbecue sauce that I've been making for about 20 years. And I hope you enjoy that with your family and on your pork and chicken and all kinds of sandwiches and everything. It is just really terrific. What do you think, Sheila? How'd I do?
You did fabulous.
Did I do fantastic? Well, check us out at shotgunred.com. We got all kinds of goodies there and shotgun red dolls for the kids and all kinds of stuff. But mostly, come back and check us out often. Hit the like button. Tell all your friends. If there's something about the sauce you don't care for, man, don't give me a thumbs down. I'm just trying to give you great recipes. So hope you'll enjoy this, and we'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Bye. I know, I forgot. Is this the best barbecue sauce you ever tasted in your life on your chicken and pork and all that stuff? If it ain't, it ought to be. Is that what I was supposed to do, Sheila?
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.